Hey guys, welcome to Big Sister. I hope you guys are having a great time. Some of you should be getting ready for the holidays, Christmas break. Some of you kiddos are. And then those of you, you're working. Christmas is not going to make a difference. You still have to go to work up until that time. Thank you all for stopping by and watching my video. I want to talk about something that I actually done this video, guys. I actually did it on camera, face to face. And then somehow I deleted it. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. But I think it was important to do it. I'm not on camera and all of that, but I just want to still say this to you guys. And I want to say to parents, you cannot expect something from your children that you didn't give to them. I know this is hard for some parents to swallow, but you cannot expect something from your children that you never gave to them. You cannot expect them to grow up and be protective of you when you didn't protect them when they were children. You cannot expect them to grow up and be patient and to be understanding with you when you were not that way with them. You cannot expect them to grow up and want you to come and live with them and take you wherever they move to with them when you were not a kind parent. Some of you abandoned them. Some of you mistreated your children. You treated other people's children better. You chose your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever you're married over your children. You allowed them to be abused. You didn't believe them when they came to you to tell you that someone had violated them in some way. Some parents, you were in competition with your own children. You were in competition against your daughter and son. You embarrassed them, humiliated them. You didn't provide them the things that they needed. Your form of punishment is to humiliate and shame them. And when your child is disconnected from you, you're appalled. And there's an expectation that you should and you have to do this for me. But parents, that's not how it works. Unfortunately, what happens with some parents is they develop a God mentality of I brought you into this world. And some parents say, and I can take you out of this world. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. I could have aborted you. I could have put you up for adoption. And some parents says, I should have aborted you. I should have given you up for adoption. Imagine that. Imagine a parent saying that to their child. Imagine a parent making a child feel as if they don't deserve to exist. Or your existence was optional to me. What a terrible thing. And for that I would say, parents, you're completely out of line. And for that I would say, no, it had nothing to do with you. The fact that you think that way is how we can be sure. If you'd really gotten down to the most, the darkest part of yourself, you would have carried out exactly what you threatened your child with. And that is why God protected that baby in your womb and in your stomach. Your child has purpose that goes beyond your selfishness, that goes beyond your threats. And even when you hurt them and you do things, God is protecting your child, and God will bring them out and away from you. Sometimes parents are jealous of their child being able to do the things that perhaps they always want to do. But the child did not make you, they didn't tell you to get pregnant at 16 years old. They didn't tell you to do that. They didn't ask to be here. You made decisions, you made choices. The child is here. That child shouldn't always have to hear about what you could have done and how your life is messed up. They did not ask you to go and lay down in the back seat of that car or in the front seat or when your mom wasn't home or your dad wasn't home. They didn't tell you to do whatever you did behind the school bleachers or on the school grounds or off in a park somewhere. You made that decision. And parents, I'm not trying to disrespect you, but You have to realize you're going to be accountable for what you say and do to your children. Children are being guilted. And it's no wonder sometimes their mental health and their frame of mind isn't right. And their stress. Now, I'm not giving teens, if you're listening, young adults, I'm not giving you excuses to disrespect your parents. You're to honor your parents. And let's talk about that. Some parents know that Bible scripture. Honor your mother and your father that your days may be long. But there's something lower that further down that says, do not provoke your children to wrath. As a matter of fact, it tells parents to raise up your children in love and admonition. Love as well as correction. That was what admonition is. And teaching them. But there a lot of parents will focus on the admonition part and lacking the love and the caring and the nurturing. And then there are other cultures, they may not believe in the Bible, but they have their own rules on respect. So what do? When you have a parent that is abusive, a parent that has mistreated you, don't disrespect your parent. Don't curse them. The way you honor them, you can honor the position that they are in. That means I honor that you are a mother, you are father. I will not disrespect you. But it doesn't mean that you may necessarily be in their life. You see, sometimes what's going to happen is you have to, when you get older, separate yourself. Because sometimes the parent refuses to see their ways. There are parents who see their children you are no more to them than a gardener. Or parents, you have your children and they become the farm hands and they become the house slaves. They're doing everything now. And I understand there are different cultural differences and things of that nature. But why keep having all these children that you cannot keep up with? And then now it is the eldest child's responsibility to do everything in the house. And they lose their youth while you may continue with your youth or continue having children. Your child is unable to enjoy themselves because they have to take care of everything. As a parent, you have to be responsible. You have to see your child as more than an extension of yourself, but that they are individuals. Do you know what your child likes? Do you know what they dislike? Do their feelings matter to you? Or is that child left to themselves, frustrated, unable to say anything? Because on one aspect, you're leaving them with the children so they can be parent, and then the other aspect, you come in and you want to override everything. You see, you're going to clash with that child that you leave to be in the parental role all the time. Because if they are, then they're going to be more inclined to say something or counter something you said because they're so used to being the one to tell the children what to do. And then you're going to come in and you're going to say, I'm the mom, I'm the dad. But then you don't want to be mom and dad when you need to be. You cannot expect love that you didn't give. You cannot expect consideration that you did not give. And you have to be able to look at yourself. And don't say, well, my children is not getting it as hard as I did. That doesn't matter. What they know is you. Believe me, your parents or those who may have mistreated you, in their minds, they're thinking you're not getting it as badly as they did. And I want you to understand it's the same thing as saying, well, I didn't burn you as deeply as I could. I could have given you a 3rd-degree burn, but instead I gave you a 2nd-degree burn. Or I could have given you a 2nd-degree burn, but instead I gave you a superficial burn. I just burned your skin. But isn't a burn a burn a burn a burn? A burn is a burn is a burn is a burn. Hurt is hurt. Hurt is hurt. No matter how you think you just did it. It's time to change that mentality. It's time, parents, to apologize to your children. It's time to look at your ways. Get out of that cycle of hurting them and apologizing to them. You say sorry and then you don't. Then you tell them they deserve it. Because what's going to happen is your child will lose that filial love. The filial love is that love that a baby is born with. And the child loves you until at some point they realize that you are an enemy. They realize you're not going to protect them. And then something changes within them. And what do? Continue to do certain things because you're not thinking they're going to get older. When as they start to get older, some parents, you want to be a bully and an antagonist, and you want to mess up their lives. And you're wondering why they don't want to come home. You're wondering why they keep going further and further away from you. Because if they bring you into their world, you will destroy them. You will shame them. You'll keep having that same behavior because you don't see them as individuals. And that has to change. And those of you that have gone through abuse and mistreatment from your parents, you have to understand that distance is not going to take out the rejection and the hurt and the pain and even the resentment you have in your heart. I can't tell you how important forgiveness is. Forgiveness does not always mean that you're going to become best pals with your parents and you're going to be close. Sometimes that happens and the parents realizes they were wrong and you guys can build together. Other times their parents, they're just not going to see it. They continue to hurt you. You're never going to get the answers. They will act as if what you're saying to them never happened. They'll minimize those moments that you're trying to talk about. And so that's going to take time. It's going to take counsel. You're going to have to do the legwork of really looking within yourself and seeing those things that stay. You have to face that, because if you don't, you will become your parent. No matter how much you think you're not them, you will be. You become that way to your children. You'll be that way to friends. You'll have a hard time having relationships with people because you're carrying bitterness and resentment in yourself, and you'll be trying to build up a new facade and a new image, but you have to deal with those things. And once you face the hurt and the pain and the neglect, and guess what, there's plenty of online counseling on YouTube, but also go to if you are able to sit with a therapist, you do that. And you're going to do this legwork, and you're not going to like what you see, but when you do that and you pull those seeds of bitterness out, now you'll be able to build. Now you can have relationships where it's not that everything will be perfect, but now you're going to be able to see things from a different perspective and be able to handle things in a healthy manner versus feeling that you're being attacked because this is how your mom used to talk to you. This is how your brothers and sisters spoke to you. And on top of that, as I said, forgiving. And that's going to take prayer. That's going to take time. And it's not something that you just have to do right now. You're entitled to feel hurt. You have a right to feel pain. You have a right to feel anger. You have a right to feel like you don't want to talk to them. I have nothing to do with them because they did hurt you. But you don't have a right to hurt them, attack them, and try to do harm to them. And you have a right to feel those ways, right? Because what happens sometimes, parents will hurt you and make you feel guilty for being angry. You don't have a right to be angry, but you do. But don't hold on to bitterness and resentment. It will cause you to do wrong things. That's why you have mass shooters out there. Their minds and their anger and things that they have hoarded took them to a certain place. You have people in jail. You have people who are just unpleasant to be around. So you have to think to yourself, I gotta be free. Don't carry that baton. Don't allow those seeds and things that they did to now spring up and ensnare you. Get counsel. Pray, ask God to help you. And you're gonna see how you're gonna be a better person. You'll be a better parent. And you'll be a better individual. You may not want children, but you still have to interact with other people. And parents, as I said, it's time to look in the mirror. And if you've done something wrong to your children, you apologize to your children. And if you don't apologize, then don't expect them to be there at Sunday dinner. And children, as I said, if your parents decide and they come and say, I'm sorry for what I've done, I was wrong, don't abuse them. Don't try to hold this thing over their head. Now they have to do everything you want them to do because look what you did to me. That's wrong. Parents, you cannot expect your child to give you something that you never gave to them. And as long as you want to be stiff-necked, and as long as you want to throw things in their face, and as long as you want to continue to make them feel as if they're less than, the further away and the greater the distance will be between the both of you. All right, guys.